morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of VTV, the podcast. I'm your host, James. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you share the word about our program and its intent, which is to discuss all things Vicksburg. Today, we have a very distinguished gentleman in the building, none other than the mayor of the city of Vicksburg, Mayor George Flax Jr. How you doing today?
How you doing, man?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Glad to have you here. Always excited to have you on the podcast to discuss anything and all things Vicksburg. Let me know if there's anything we cannot touch on, because I know it's a few hot topics going on around the city.
Not in this city.
Not in this city.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Nothing hot.
Okay. All right. So if we get a little too deep, just tap me on my shoulder or something.
I promise I won't.
Okay. Gotcha. Like I said, this is always an exciting conversation for me, simply because you are, simply a distinguished gentleman. You are a prominent figure in this city. You have a lot of insight, a lot of information, a lot of good knowledge, and yeah, you are a well-known public figure. So again, thanks for being here.
Well, I would think so. I've been around for about 34 years in politics, 26 in the legislature, and about 11 and a half here. So that's quite a tenure or a journey, and that's what I call it, a journey. But we're doing good. I think I'm ready for another 4, if that's the question.
Yeah, I was thinking to ask, how much longer will you give the city? Another 4?
I told one guy till I die. I told one till I get sick enough where I can't, and I told one for another 8 years.
Another 8. Okay. I would be excited to see you for another 8. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I'm on your team.
Well, thank you. You'd have been commended for that. But you're a great guy, though. You're different. You're very honest and upfront guy, and I like that about you.
I appreciate that. If we can jump right into a few topics, and I was serious. If there's anything that we
No, we're good.
don't need to touch, I don't want Secret Service or anybody, VPD, Martin Pace, anybody coming to knock on my door talking about you shouldn't have had that question on and then you know where I'm going with it.
Yeah, but okay. I started to do a gesture, but I said I better mess with that because Secret Service are everywhere.
That's true. We just left a kickoff, so to speak, for the bicentennial, which is the 200-year anniversary of the city of Vicksburg. You were a speaker at the event. You touched on a lot of different things. You spoke about, some tourist attractions here in the city. You spoke on some numbers, and a few other things. How did you the first, I know you're mayor, but how did you get involved with the kickoff ceremony? Is it like?
Well, I think they go hand in hand because I am mayor during the time when we were celebrating 200 years of our existence. 1829 was a tough time, and so we went through the whole thing this morning of just how far we come and where we want to go. And how far we come through this thing called slavery. We won that war, thank God to that. And it was the siege of Vicksburg. And then we started just moving on, and things got progressed. And who would have thought, and I'm serious about this, who would have thought that I would be mayor? Brown skin guy would be mayor. Not just me, because Robert Walker opened the door. Then you had Jane Winfield. But who would have thought that I would be mayor in this time in history? And because of that, I think we got to celebrate. I think I got to be the ambassador. I got to put the touch on it. I did that this morning. I tried to come through history and get to the present, and then I want to go into the future by saying how we can continue to be prosperous and continue to be progressive. And I'm confident we can. Just like the flood of 27, we got over it. Just like all other things we got over there. I think that for every problem, there's a solution, and I have to
Right.
try to find those solutions for
Right.
this city. We navigating, and I think we're navigating strong. In the entrance of the park, you're gonna see them come in with an interpreter center that's gonna tell the full story of um, how we got here in terms of everything, and then they're going to be able to just express this whole thing about the Civil War and the Civil War means different things for different folks. But
Right.
I embrace history because I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that you can uh, be progressive if you don't embrace history
I agree.
and learn from your past and go forward. So I'm excited. We're gonna talk about a lot of cultural things. We're gonna brag about the downtown area, the number of cruise ships that comes in. We're gonna do a lot of things. There are 4 segments of how we're gonna break this down into planning. So I feel good about it. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll go from there.
Mm, gotcha. You mentioned two former mayors, and they were also brown skinned men, Mr. Winfield and Mr. Walker. And this is a random thought. Do you ever have any conversations with those men? All the time, probably, huh?
Absolutely, Miss. It's ironic that Mr. Winfield's significant other friend works in my office as a secretary, and we get to chat. Not just about that, but just chat. I see him all the time at the cigar shop, and well, he's a good guy. He went down a pathway that I thought that um, it was short lived for him, but
Yeah.
I think he's a resilient guy. I think he bounced out of Robert Walker. I saw him at the Malcolm Butler's football camp. He
Oh
had his
yeah, that was
grandson.
recent. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
had his grandson over there. We chat. We all have each other's cell phone number
Mm-hmm.
because if I need help, I call him. But I hadn't had to ask for help since I've been here. And it was challenging, but I got through it.
Yeah. I got you. I think those two men, as well as yourself, they made a big impact on this community. Not just the community of Vicksburg, but black and brown people. They were figures that our community could look at and say, "Hey, you yourself as well. You've made it to a certain stature, a certain tier in society, a certain career field. That a lot of people may not uh, aspire to be a part of." But
Well, I hope I'm still growing, and I
I
think
agree.
that there need to be some more growth and development in me. Uh, I listen more, and I learn from the listening, and so I'm leading a lot better. I was rare when I first came in here in 2013. I was all over the place, couldn't find my way, but now I think I got a narrow pathway to the future. I've been able to. Um, uh, Synchronize some things and do some things. So I feel good about it. There's a couple of things that economically we want to be able to do. You're talking about the bicentennial. We're a city of success and prosperity. That's what the river's about. Um, I want to be able to get a lot and full um, um, programs in the M City. I want to be able to develop that port in a way that has never been developed. I think we can put 1,000 jobs out there, uh, but we're gonna get there. But a lot of folks don't understand. It just takes time sometimes to do that. I know somebody gonna say, "Well, you've been there 11 years, 12 years, and what happened?" But look at downtown. Now we got to get out to Pilmington, and then we got to get out to Alamo, and then we just hired a guy to help us with houses and retail development. So we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
But people got to be more patient.
Patient. Yeah, yeah. I think we live in a society nowadays where everything is microwavable. Hit the button 30 seconds and they want it done.
There you go.
That's not how
It,
it
it
works,
doesn't
though.
work like that here.
Yeah, yeah. All that technology, I think, is speeding us up, but we're still a human race, and things have to develop over time. I agree. Speaking of that, you mentioned port development and things of that nature in your recent town hall meeting. Um, can you speak on that briefly? Was that you put a lot of things out there for the community to hear and be aware of as far as plans and development, but then also you addressed some other issues, but you mentioned port. Um, Within the town hall meeting, was there any questions that came after that regarding port or
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
I walked away with a lot of questions.
hmm
One would be housing,
housing?
the blackness in the community. The other one would be with code enforcement, where we're lacking in the code enforcement. But the issue there is that most of our people don't own their home;
Hmm.
they are renting or leasing,
Right.
and because you ask somebody to go and improve that house,
Hmm.
then they're gonna go up on your rent. Then you're
Increase.
gonna displace that person. So
Right.
what I'm trying to do is develop houses, and at the same time, give them time enough to be able to make the adjustment, and then we're gonna be able to demo some of the houses as we go, and it's it's a tricky situation, but and it's a balancing. You got to balance it out. Uh, that's something that they want to do. The infrastructure, I think, going real good. We got some more roads to be able to resurface, and we're gonna be able to do that. Uh, so the police department, the fire department, they doing good. We just helped them out in a raise, and a lot of folks don't understand it. But it's for those that make 50,000 less. A kid out of high school can come to Vicksburg now and go to work in the fire department and make $40,000 a year.
Hmm.
Or I was looking at the police department, but the state has a statute on that says that you have to be at least 21 years of age to wear a gun, well, not wear a gun, but be a police officer, and maybe to wear a gun. But we got a lot of those things to do. I'm thinking about doing some trials with the police department where you can come in. We're going to start with a couple cadets and work them way up for 3 years and see how they do it so that after 3 years, they would have their feet wet and know some things. The garbage was an issue, but I think we're ready to go and assess another up to $20. I think $20 should be enough for us to the difference between 16, 50, and 20 be enough for us to accurate uh, uh, assess the garbage situation. That was something because what happened was that we didn't educate the public.
Right.
We didn't say anything to them about the new policy that add to us the limb pickup costs
Mm.
and all that.
So that's
So
extra.
yeah, it was extra. They
Oh,
put into
okay,
the
yeah,
contract.
yeah, yeah. I
So
didn't know that either.
yeah, so we had that to work with.
Yeah.
We had to reduce the amount of garbage, the volume of the garbage down to about one can. It's about 95 gallons, but I think we're getting it. I think the good news is that the people of this city care so much about their city,
Hmm.
they want to jump in and do what they can
Right.
for the city.
Right. Understood. In that town hall meeting, was there? Hmm, I'm pretty sure you always got angry citizens and things of that nature. But was there anything that made you feel like it needed to be addressed immediately in regards to somebody's feedback or
Oh no,
a
no.
comment or a
I
statement?
think most of it was open and honest.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks had some concern about what they didn't know, but
Mm-hmm.
now that they know, I think they better off now.
Yep.
Then you got TJ Alderman TJ Mayfield out there doing listening tour, so
Mm-hmm.
he's bringing that feedback
Right.
to us, and he's working with. And by the way, he's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to put all the young people in one organization
Yeah.
or in one position where he can just work with them. And he's entitled to that because he's a young guy and he wants to leave the legacy.
Yeah. How do you feel about him being in that role now? I know his father had a huge impact on our city
I
for a
think it's a,
long time.
yeah, but I think it's a great role for him to have.
Mm-hmm.
I think he ought to be able, and I think he wear the head well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would adjust well. He's a very polite guy. He's a very intelligent guy, and he's gonna get it done.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I see him in a lot of places where I am, in church, at funerals, at different places. So I think he's gonna get it done. It's just gonna be. I just hope he don't go too fast, because if you sometimes when you go fast, you don't get there.
Mm-hmm. That's true. When you mean go too fast for him, what do you? It is just
I mean, take your time, learn the process,
learn the
and
process
and
ins and out.
understand
Yeah.
that you got to be a follower before you become a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And he can, I mentor him
Yeah.
if that's what he wants, and share him everything I know,
Yeah.
because knowledge is power,
Mm.
and that's what it's all about.
I agree. I agree. If we can briefly touch on, this what I consider a hot topic. They had a meeting at the courthouse where there was an introduction of information on the new form of government. And then I caught wind of a petition being spoke on and people signing to, challenge the type of government that the city of Vicksburg has. And, then this institute came through and gave, those who were wanting to know, they gave them insight on different forms of government that would
Well,
work for Mississippi.
in 1995, I was for changing the form of government. In 1997, I ran on it, got my butt beat, and then when I came into 2013, I advocated it. I tried to get it done then because I got elected.
Yeah.
The same thing that you get elected for, you don't have to govern like that. And so I did that. But I'm gonna tell you, the pain is not worth the gain is not worth the pain.
Yeah.
And this what that petition is so much misleading information. People talk about 5 folks can't work together, 7 can't work together, can't do this, can't do that. But I've learned to appreciate this system. I think this is a great system. Of course, I don't like the title because the title said mayor and alderman, but we're equal. We're a commission form of government.
Yep.
But the thing is that a couple things you have to do. One is that you have to be willing to work together. 2, you can't come to the boardroom with any argumental things. You got to be able to work together and vote together. And I know it sounds different where people come in the boardroom and everything is unanimous. That's good for a city. And then you argue in the back rooms. So you do that. Each one of us got a role. Of course, Mr. Mayfield got the Department of Development, Community Development, and he has public utility. Mr. Mansour got airport. He's got IT, and he's got it's one of them. He got recreation. I have the remainders, but at the same time, I try to work with them and share ideas with them. We got down there this morning, and the grass was not like it should have been, and we all came together, got on the phone, and you had the private sector and the public sector working together, and we got it done.
Understood. There's a lot of talk about that, and there's comparisons to other cities. Like Jackson has a council and these other places, and
Right.
they discuss, okay, well, it's harder. From what I heard, because I kind of tuned into the live stream about
Right.
the meeting and the information session, and they talked about, what would be beneficial for this community in particular.
I think
Everybody
the
had
form,
different
I think the
thoughts on
form of government that you got now can work. And if it's not working, the people make it work. The individuals make it work. And so if it's not working like you think it ought to work, get rid of the person. Well, that may mean getting rid of me, but I mean, that's just part of it. We don't own these positions. What we do is serve in these positions. And I've always told it's more honor than serve than to be served. So I'm in good shape.
Yeah. Mr. Mayfield mentioned that the last time he was on the
Right.
podcast. He said his job is to work for the people.
Right.
The people are the bosses, so to speak.
Oh, I can't say it no better.
Yeah, yeah. So I get that. And going forward, I hope people get more information about that whole situation and don't rush into making rash decisions based on something that they heard
Well, I
versus
think
what's
that,
true.
that I think that hearing up there opened a lot of folks' eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They gave them a glimpse of what they didn't want and a glimpse of what a couple of people is for it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. Changing subjects once again. This time of year, summer's ending. Um, the end of summer for young people, young adults. The elementary school kids. It signals back to school time.
Right.
It also signals a change of the season. As the summer goes out, you got a new season coming in. So the city's gonna be changing as well. Parents will be gearing up to get their kids back in school. The school district will be gearing up to provide that service for the community. Do you have any input on anything public school, private school? Do you,
With all
you
of
and the
it,
board, do y'all have any input into what goes on for
well,
the
I
school year?
don't. I'm invited to a convocation tomorrow, and I'm gonna go down there for that. But the real issue is education. You ought to want to go to school to get an education, and a great education at that. The other part of it is that we need to, from an administrative perspective, we need to take the mindset that every child can learn if we give them the proper resources. And then collectively, we got to work together to make certain that our community and our school system are safe. And I believe they are. And we got to get some of the rough edges out of it. I don't think a kid is bad. I think a kid want to be bad. And that's the bad. That's the worst label you can put on a kid.
Bad.
And that they're bad.
Bad kid,
Because
yeah.
what they're gonna do is act bad. What you need to do is just love them and tell them you love them and talk to them. And then do that. It's just hard to hurt a man that tells you he loves you, or a woman for that matter. But I think I'm wishing this school district well. I'll be at Warrenton Elementary on Friday morning at 8:30. Welcome kids in, embracing them, and hoping they have a great school year. I think other people's gonna be at other schools, and I think we can make this work. This is one community, and this community need to work for the benefit of all of us.
I agree. What resources, if any, does the board provide through a delegation to the school district?
Oh, we donated money for book bags and for
okay.
those type things.
Okay.
Malcolm Butler and them book bag. They got a back to school rally Saturday. I think it's Saturday at the mall. I think unlike us, there have been enough book bags given out in this community. I think that everybody ought to have at least one or two.
At least one.
But the good news is that we're here to help.
Right.
And because you're here to help, you can get them out like that.
Right.
But it's gonna be a great school year. I'm looking forward to it. And if I could be of any help in terms of the board, working with them, I'm here to do it.
Okay. Gotcha. It's been a great conversation with you. Once again, I expected nothing less. You always come with some insight.
Well, I appreciate you lead me into that great insight.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to give the public, the listeners?
No, I think for the most part, when it comes to people talk about crime, when it comes to that, I think we're a safe community. You're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have different things happen in community. And when you hear those things, the first thing you ought to do is just call first responder.
Right.
And that be the police or the fireman, whatever means you need. But let's all work together. Let's live together. And let's be a better community. Let's make Vicksburg a community that make us proud of from here to come. The other part of it, I think we've had some things to do, but we're doing better now that we know it, because I took the community service around last week. I don't like the litter. I don't like the couches and all that, put out mattresses and stuff like that. But we're going to work together. We're going to get it up. And people need to just take their time and be patient with it. We pay for every 7 days that you get a work order in, you can get it picked up. But the key to that is that you got to call City Hall. The number is 601-636-3411 and tell them we don't pick up in front of business, churches, or nothing like that. We pick up in front of residents and those type of things. If you have a tree that falls and you cut it up, pick it up and have that person that cut it down to pick it up. And we'll be in great shape. All we need is just continue to communicate with everybody, and it's going to be just fine.
Gotcha. Once again, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's been
Appreciate
nice talking to
Gotcha.
you. I'm glad you put that number out there so the people can give you a call and bother you about some things.
Well, my number is 601-942-0492. You can't bother me. I answer the phone. And you know, good news, though.
What's that?
I don't ask them where they live in the city, county, wherever. I take a complaint and get it done. I mean, how many other people, they're going to take you through a litmus test. Where you work at, where you been. I don't do that. I just say, what's the issue? Give it to me. And that's what you do. I think even at night, we get these kind of calls, but they're good for you.
You mean people calling you in the middle of the night?
Man, do that. They call me for anything at night. I got one person just called all the time. But you know what? That's what makes me look good and look like I'm 71. I can do these things that people can't do or stop doing. So I'm good.
Yeah. Well, that's been another episode of VTV, the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with friends. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. Thank you all for listening, tuning in. See you next time.